Alright, welcome back, guys. We are in game. Oops, let me just turn the sounds on instead of off. That's always a bit of a misclick. We're in game number 1. This is not a winners or losers match, but this will determine which of these players will go to the winners or the losers match. Of course, Pig waiting in the winners and Younga waiting in the losers. So let's get into it. I'm Rifkin. I've been casting with Zombie Grub. Say hello, Zombie Grub.
Hi.
And in this best of 3, spawning the bottom right corner of the map from Imaginary Gaming, it is the red Zerg player Targa.
In the upper left, the blue Protoss. It's XMG's Todd.
Todd, I guess, recently got a sub button on Twitch or something.
Yeah, and people were abusing it last night.
What do you mean abusing it?
I just mean there was a lot of subs.
Yeah, I was part of
Joke,
that.
Rifkin.
Part of that sub train.
I started the sub train.
You kind of did. You got modded off of it too. Like, wow. But Todd is like full on like Winter StarCraft quality of emoticons, where they are just horrible, but so horrible they become awesome. Like one's like his face with XMG across it.
It's very judgmental of emoticons because they're just so great.
Yeah. No, I like. I thought it was cool though. So you guys, if you're Todd fans, can go sub to his channel now on Twitch, which is kind of cool, kind of neat. But Todd, okay, let's actually talk about this for a moment, because we've actually had an intriguingly large amount of run-ins with Todd of recent days. He is given us some really good ZV. Oh, Targa. He's given us some really good ZVPs or PVZs, I guess, more accurate from his point of view. And a lot of the things we've really come to love Todd for are his warp prisms and his comeback potential. I really don't think there's any other Europeans who seem to have those two things under wraps the same way he does.
King Sejong was that famous game where he accidentally made 3 war prisms and 2 hallucinated ones and just absolutely tore apart Golden, who is
it worked.
FPS right now.
I love that you contacted him. You're like, so did you mean to do that? He's like, no, it was an accident. But it worked, so do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep doing it, man. Well, this is kind of like a choice, right? You either try let it finish and try and get like a zealot out and try and deal with it, or you ping down a lot of probes if you get expand, which of course Todd
I like
did.
that quick collapse to prevent the evolution chamber too.
Yeah, that was actually a good point. But there was a lot of mind time lost for Todd. It's always important to bring up, but of course Targa did have to cancel a hatchery, which is 75 minerals out of his pocket. Math can't do.
A little something something.
Yeah, exactly. A little something. But if Todd had not scouted, he was going pretty safe, waiting forever to go down and actually check his natural, that becomes a problem. The creep takes forever to dissipate. And
you know what? I just realized. I think this might be our Daishi to Muslim match. When I say this, because Todd is one of those slower methodical players, and Targa's totally someone who's willing to do swarm hosts to win. So we're like, what, 2 hours ahead of schedule right now? We'll see where we are at the end of this best of 3.
Fix that, Targa. The thing is, though, is that there are a couple of European players, and they are specifically European players, that are just... I don't want them to go swarm hosts, because, okay,
there's some Europeans who are bad at it. I mean...
What?
Well, okay, so you finish your thought, I'll add on after.
Okay. That I actually want them to go up against swarm hosts because they're so good at it. That's the way I meant to say it.
Oh, you're
like Todd. Yeah, Todd is really good against going against swarm hosts. Like that warp prism thing was actually when Golden was trying to go for swarm hosts, and he just he did the warp prisms, he did the harass, got up Colossus, and it was actually a very like book type of game, like by the book type of game. And if Targa goes for it on this map, I think Todd just deconstructs it. Lings are kind of awkward. What are you doing?
Sorry. I had to go respond to something. Anyways, the thing I was gonna get onto with the whole swarm host thing was, you say you like it because some players are good at responding to it, some people are good at dealing with it. At the same time, I can feel like there's a lot of Zerg players who are bad at swarm hosts. Like, they see, oh, Snoot does swarm hosts, they must be good. But there's a lot more to swarm hosts than just simply making them and setting them and forgetting them.
Yeah,
they actually do take a bit of skill, all jokes aside about them.
That's another great point.
Kind of like Protoss.
No, that's another great point. That's another good way of putting it. There's some people are just really bad with swarm hosts, you know. Cough, Jadon, cough. But I think it's more so about me seeing like really impressive Protoss, like European Protoss, just being really good against it than it is the Zergs being like really, really bad. But we'll wait and see if that actually is the case. Target gets a Roach Warren. This could just be for an emergency Roach Warren. Obviously, Ling Hydra attacks very popular on this map, specifically because you can like break down the rocks in the back, counterattack, multi-prong attacks. It's a pretty good style. Oh, 9 roaches may be precautionary. I don't think he's gotten a good scout into Todd's base yet.
The thing, I like that the shallow wall. We talked about this yesterday. You go, oh, we're gonna be like that, but the shallow wall really, I'd say, complements the Nexus overcharge a lot better. Because the problem is sometimes you put the wall out here in the front, and it's the edge of the overcharge, and roaches will actually snipe off the buildings without taking any fight. To actually kill a gateway, you have to be in that overcharge.
It's a good point. Targa did not see anything in the main, but I believe he just... No, he didn't. He should set a... yeah, he's setting roaches and lings across the map. In fact, a lot of roaches and lings across the map to try and cancel this third.
Yeah. He's definitely got the kill potential here on the third. I don't know about pushing anywhere other than the third, though. And there's still a lot of sentries out, too.
Todd, he had to see in Phoenix, but I don't know if he actually saw how much was coming. Force fields have to be very, very good here. Just lings, obviously, you force field around, you make a donut with yourself, but... with the roaches comes a lot more difficult.
Slow roaches, though, are so horrible to walk around force fields. Oh my god. They actually take forever.
This is 1 sentry. This is such a...
He's really low in energy, though. I kind of feel like if Targa wanted to, he could kill all those sentries. Todd knows this as well, so he backs them like way the hell into this corner. Because 2 force fields here are going to save him way better than any metal force fields out in the open.
Was that Embellish Report just really late, or did it use like a time warp somewhere?
Must use the sign. No, overcharge in the natural.
Oh, okay. I was wondering because the timer usually is that the third Nexus gets up and then you put the overcharge on that one, but he was forced to use it on the natural, obviously. Roach Hydra is going to be the choice for Targa, at least for now.
Roach Hydra's okay. I like this. Okay, here's the infestation bit. Not for Swarm, but most likely for that hive, because Roach Hydra is alright, but it gets really good once you get those Vipers involved. Prior to that, you're like, oh, okay, I hope he doesn't have Colossus, that'll be okay. Side note, unrelated, I'm loving the Overlord spread here out of Targa, because once again, Todd is one of those players who's really good with War Prism sneaking around the map. These Overlords are going to see anything coming from forever away.
If these roaches gonna go break down those rocks, that'd be a great plan. Todd kind of already starting to make a wall back there. His Twilight Council. But just a couple more gateways once to see that they are being broken. Burrow could be a good addition as well. Straight to the hive. Sure. He does see this. The reaction by Todd just comes over. The rocks kind of always get broken just because he doesn't have a Colossus to actually shoot over the rocks. But a couple of cannons, his army over there will deal with it. He has an observer and a purposely not to the right as well. So if Targa's game plan was to just go, like, for instance, like max roaches and just attack on the other side, which we've seen before, Todd would have good knowledge about it. It's actually going to be Roach Hydra straight up to those Vipers, though. So while Targa is, like, maneuvering around a bit, I would be surprised if he actually took a head-on engagement unless he knew that he was going to get a really good one before the Vipers came out. I don't... Though, as I say that...
I mean, it sees the army coming, which is kind of nice. The Observer sees the other half.
Yeah, as I said that, there's not really anything for the Vipers to pull. It's more about blinding clouds. Todd has not gone up to the Colossus, and really, we've always known that Todd is a guy, like, every Protoss loves Blink Stalkers now. Blink's just really good in every matchup, but Todd especially has really good skill with them. You know, he can hold off on Colossus for a very long time.
Todd's pretty good. I wouldn't say he's like the best I've ever seen. Not trying to, like, you know, counter talk whatever, but no, he is pretty good with his Blink Stalkers.
Well, I never said that he was the best.
Well, you assumed a bit. Whatever. Actually, you know what this reminds me, and I totally forgot. We got a resub, like 2 games ago or something. I'm horrible. Arium came back to the family. Arium, Woo! That little no good North American Protoss son of a gun. Thanks for that resub, dude.
Oh, wow,
nice depower. Oh, wow, double depower. He's going to take down all the cannons. The charge is going to be delayed heavily here. But sadly, with the Roach's trap, they're kind of doomed to just die.
Yeah, that Zealot lived past an entire Zerg army and took the Zonaga. What a trooper. What a trooper. There's good... Gee, that's like really great Overlord spread from Targa. There's no way War Prism gets anywhere.
That's what I was
without him
saying earlier.
seeing it.
It's ridiculous how, like, this is where I'm like, okay, where's the one Viking, right? Or the one Phoenix, or sorry, whatever, one anti-air unit.
One
like, flying
Viking
around.
might be worth it. I don't.
Well, if Todd can make a Viking, that's really impressive. It's just,
One Phoenix.
yeah, I messed that up too, don't worry. Swarm hosts are coming up as a follow-up to this, so it didn't start with Swarm hosts, but it might end with Swarm hosts, depending on how this goes. Still, though, the Vipers, Abducts, Blinding Clouds, I think are going to be way better with a Roach Hydra composition than getting Swarm hosts involved, but we'll see how dedicated this gets. He did delay this charge upgrade for so long, he's actually going to snipe this. Really nicely done.
Well, that's one downside using that as far as the wall back there, but we still have the problem where Todd is probably going to take a very effective engagement. Of course, he's splitting up the army. The Force Fields are really, really good. He has Blink to keep them alive. The Immortal gets dragged, but really the power of Todd's army is in Blink Stalker is not nothing else. Well, Force Fields too, of course.
Well, the Blink Stalker count is nice and all, but he really... He's taking decent trades right now. It's the level 3 weapon upgrades that are really going to tip this in his favor. Like, he's going to push this back, okay, but as you see, Targa might just turn around and fight because he's still got a lot of Hydras standing. We went towards the south, 4th base up and running. 5th base even up and running, sorry. During Locust upgrade is going to finish up. We still don't see any Swarm hosts out, really, but the Hydras and Roaches are just too much. You know, the Locusts are great, whatever, but I kind of wish we had Pasturing Glands over the Swarm hosts.
Either way, it's probably going to work out. Todd's in a position right now where he's holding off pretty well. Constantly getting up these ramps, but he's run out of force fields. He's now entirely depending on his Blink Stalker control.
Nice abduct on the Immortal.
Yeah, the only other units in Todd's arsenal right now pick Probes.
The Blinding Cloud's kind of working almost like force fields. Like, they're really forcing the Stalkers to take really awkward fights. I'm loving the use of the Blinding Clouds, but as he starts stuttering around, Target's starting to filter into the base. Todd, you know, it's so close to those level 3 weapon upgrades, but is it going to be enough at this point? His army has dwindled quite heavily. He's at half the supply that of Targa. Granted, Targa's got a lot of really fluff units like, you know, combination of Vipers as well as Roaches, but damn, if Todd isn't losing everything right now.
Yep, absolutely everything. Dips a little 100 supply. Well played.
Okay. Targa takes game number 1 in this best of 3. But of course, we know the map order, and chop, 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 chop. We're going to go to the next one right away.